Hi, this is Dad, and this is lesson number 2 for mathematics. Today we're going to solve equations by substitution. So that's a big way of figuring out what is the value of A and what is the value of B. Now every time you do this, there's really only 3 steps that you need to do, so I'm going to tell you what they are right now. The first step is you solve for A or B, it doesn't matter, in one equation. Second step is you plug that value in, whatever you figured it out, into the other equation to figure out the actual numerical value of the first variable. So let's say the first variable is A and the second variable is B. There's 2 variables. The third thing that you need to do is you need to use that number, whichever one you figured out, to figure out the value of the second variable. And that's how you figure it out. So I'm going to use an example over here for solving. So the first thing I try to do is, well, I just kind of look and say, well, I've got to isolate either A or B. So I'm kind of lazy, so I figure out which is the easiest way to do it. Should I solve for this one or solve for this one? It actually doesn't matter, but when I look at this, I can see it's a lot easier to solve for this one. So I'm going to solve for B first. So to do that, we have to isolate B, and it has to be a positive value. So there's really 2 steps I need to do. The first step I need to do is to minus 2A from both sides, right? Because there's a 2A here and I have to get rid of it. And then, so I have to add a minus 2A to this side. So then you end up with minus B and then minus 2A plus 36. But it's still not done yet because we have that minus on the B. I got to get rid of that. It has to be a positive B. The only way I can do that is if I multiply both sides by minus 1. Right? Multiply by, I'll just make it like this, minus 1, so you can see that. Well, minus 1 times minus B is B. And minus 1 times 2 minus 2A is positive 2A. We don't need the plus at the front, so we just call it 2A. And minus 1 times 36 is minus 36. So coming back to here, that's the first step. We've solved for B in one equation. Now we actually don't know the numerical value. That's how to do that now. We have to go back to the first equation. Plug its second step. Go into the other equation to figure out the value of the first variable. So we know that B is worth 2A minus 36. So when I do this one now, this is the second equation here. I'm going to keep this 2A as is, because we don't know what 2A is. But we do know that B is actually 2A, is the same thing as 2A minus 36. I have to put the parentheses here because, you know, it's 5 of these, whatever this B is. So it's 2A minus 36 and it's parentheses because it represents all of B. And that's still the same over here, 12. Okay? So now I've got to do the same thing as I did before, which is isolate for A. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is expand this because I don't like it there because I don't really know what it is. So I'm going to expand that to say 2A plus 5 times 2A is how much? 10A. 10A. I have Valerie being my very helpful assistant here, is 10A. And Valerie, let's see if your PhD and from Yale helps out. 5 times 36, Valerie?
Come
on!
60,
180.
180.
Yeah, we're all done. Okay, that's minus 180 because it's actually 5 times minus 36 equals 12. Okay, I'm still in the process of solving, but I know that these things go together very easily. 10 plus 2A plus 10A is 12, so that's 12A. But I got to get rid of this minus 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 180 to both sides. So 180 minus 180 is 0, so you can just leave it blank. And 180 plus 12 is 192. If we were to take A, then I need to divide both sides by 12 now.
So can you explain to me, Jay?
Yeah.
Why is it that you needed to move the 180 to the other side? What was the reason for that?
Because I'm trying to isolate for A. I need everything away so it's just A equals something. So I've got to get rid of all this crap here and I've got to move it all over and just eliminate it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12 because, again, I'm trying to solve for a. So 12a divided by 12 is 1a. We just call that a. And 192 divided by 12, you throw it into your calculator, it equals 16. So that's the first part of the equation now. So now we have figured out the value of the first variable. In our case, it's a is equal to 16. So we're 2/3 of the way there. The last bit isn't particularly hard. Now I just go back to this one. We say b equals 2a minus 36. We figured that out already. So now I'm just going to go b equals 2, and then instead of putting in a, I'm going to put in 16 because we already know that's the value, minus 36. So that means that expanding that out comes to 32 minus 36. So b then is equal to minus 4, and a is equal to minus 36. Normally when you write this as a solution or an answer, you would write
A equals 16.
A equals 16, yeah. So then you just write it as 16, which is the answer for A, and minus 4, which is for the answer for B. And that is how you solve equations by substitution. Bye.